While sipping his tea, the man realized something terrifying. He suspected his wife had poisoned the water. When his wife coldly declared, "Your death is inevitable," the man clutched his stomach in agony and staggered towards the door. Determined not to let his wife's sinister plot succeed, he made his way to the balcony, preparing to jump. It seemed he wanted to leave his wife with a lifetime of psychological trauma. His wife followed close behind, frantically screaming and pretending to repent, but the husband's eyes held only indifference. With a faint smile, as if to condemn his wife to a life of guilt, he leaped without hesitation. The wife gazed upon her husband's mangled body, a twisted grin spreading across her face. Gleefully, she opened a suitcase and retrieved her husband's laptop. Mary had finally achieved her goal. Confidently, she entered the password, only to discover the account required two-factor authentication. In addition to the password, it needed facial recognition. But now, with her husband's face battered beyond recognition, it was surely unusable. Mary began to panic. Had her plan failed after all? But Mary refused to give up. She had a friend who was a sculptor. The next day, to ensure access to her husband's computer, she visited her friend, feigning deep sorrow over her husband's passing. Seeing Jack's apparent sympathy, Mary pleaded with him to create a model sculpture of her husband, so she could always remember him. Faced with Mary's desperate request, Jack couldn't bring himself to refuse. Just then, a strange commotion came from the second floor, but when she looked around, there was no one to be found. Little did Mary know, her entire conversation had been overheard by Jack's apprentice. From the moment he laid eyes on Mary, the apprentice sensed something was off, believing she was not a good person. But his master explained it was fine, as he and Mary's husband had decades of friendship. Jack worked through the night to create the sculpture. The apprentice found it odd that despite the trio's deep friendship, they had now gone their separate ways. Seeing his apprentice's curiosity, Jack decided to share a story from their past. When the three were young, they had co-founded a film company. At the time, they were shooting a mermaid-themed project. They attached a rescue device to the actress's wrist, instructing her to press the light immediately if she had trouble breathing underwater. But Jack, a perfectionist, was so desperate to capture the perfect shot that it ultimately led to the actress drowning. Overwhelmed with guilt and believing he was solely responsible, Jack voluntarily left the film company, leaving it in the hands of his two friends. After hearing this story, the apprentice could only console his master. Soon, Jack successfully completed the sculpture and delivered it to Mary's home. Seeing the life-size model of her husband, Mary was overjoyed. She quickly opened the laptop and pointed it at the sculpture. Incredibly, after the facial recognition process, the computer unlocked. Mary grinned, immediately transferring all her husband's assets.